Justice, it means different things in different contexts for me personally. It can mean retribution.
It's to create fairness.
A belief about how things should be in the world.
Well, we are expected to apply the laws of science to the laws of man.
You want to be the person that is able to balance the scale.
And I've still yet to find a definite answer, and I'm still searching. So, when I find out, I'll let everybody else know.
I am the first one, I'm an only child, so I'm the first one to attend college.
Everywhere I looked online, the #1 program was here at John Jay.
And John Jay actually for me was perfect because they have all the courses required for medical school, but they are a forensic science program. So I actually greatly appreciate that in hindsight, because if I had gone for a pre-med program, I would be dull, I think.
It attracts a certain kind of student, and not the ordinary student who's out for profit. It usually attracts the students who are interested in serving the public and the greater good.
I was in class, and a fellow student, she came in and she had bruises on her face. So, naturally I was like, what happened? What happened? She said, oh, no, nothing, so it's okay. Last night I had to wrestle a suspect to the ground and got a couple bruises, so I was like, oh, wow, okay.
A lot of times when you tell people that you're going to John Jay, they think that automatically you're going to become a police officer.
We were originally called the College of Police Science, and it slowly, over the next 5 years, developed a full range of majors. And then in 1976, there was that famous headline in the Daily News, Ford to City, drop dead.
The way that the college managed to survive, because it was a very new CUNY college, was to agree to do away with all of its liberal arts majors. And I think that that was a sad day for the college.
And now we have this extraordinary opportunity.
When we're done, we may have 11 or 12 new liberal arts majors.
So what we've done over the past 2 years has really brought John Jay back to that original vision of a strong liberal arts curriculum, a strong liberal arts program here with this special mission, the special mission of educating for justice.
We live in a culture that involves both great art and terrible crime. These things come together. They come together in Dostoevsky. They come together in The Great Gatsby.
I mean, a little bit of Dickens would go a long way toward helping some of the Bernie Madoffs of the world maybe understand what we're doing.
I tell students all the time, I think my first responsibility as a teacher is to help you to become a critical thinker. Not to necessarily believe what I believe, but to push you to understand that you should question.
Any one class you might take in philosophy will be completely different because one person decides to focus on one aspect. I read Martin Luther King's letters from Birmingham jail in philosophy class.
Sometimes we learn things one way, so when we're presented with a new idea, there's a lot of resistance. And I think that's the part that I enjoy the most, is the resistance.
And I personally was opposed to affirmative action. And then we spent the entire semester just looking at it and why it's not perfect, but it works for the most part right now. And he flipped me on my head when it came to that.
I love the classrooms at John Jay. They are filled with New Yorkers, but New Yorkers, as we all know, are the richest group of people in the world in terms of their diversity.
Put it this way, if you had taken John Jay College of Criminal Justice and put it in Nebraska, it could not have functioned.
I don't want to say that the students here are more motivated than they are in other colleges. But I will say that obviously they don't take it as much for granted.
I do think they are challenged by their demanding schedules because many are working full-time or part-time.
When you think about the alternatives and the fact that these students are getting a relatively inexpensive, high-quality education, I'm really proud of the kinds of changes that we make in their lives. Most of our students are first-generation college-goers or immigrants, and this education's critical for them.
In the forensic science program, there's a great amount of suffering due to studying and staying inside.
The library is my best friend, I have to say. There are nights when you'll be at the library until it closes, until the security says, unfortunately, you have to leave. And I'll be looking at them like, 15 more minutes.
I've had students who, day one, they're not really sure what they want to do, and I'm proud to say that some catch that sociological bug.
My personal research is violence against women in Colombia.
I think research is life-changing. Picking up the phone, being on an interview, asking questions from, let's say, the Deputy Attorney General of the Dominican Republic on the status of domestic violence in the Dominican Republic is very empowering for students.
What I really try to do is treat my students as scientific collaborators, going to the literature, seeing what other people have done, and then developing a series of experiments or other research studies with them.
You know, when you work so closely and work for so long with one person who really is trying to nurture you and get you, to publish.
With many of them, it's a peer-reviewed publication. The research reaches that point.
Research experience at John Jay, coupled with the teaching, allowed me to think that I could move on to higher education past the bachelor's.
John Jay is a different place today than it was, say, 5 years ago. And a lot of us are young faculty. I imagine we've brought in 150, 200 or more young faculty.
John Jay saw in me something that evidently no other college saw, and they were willing to bring me in here and put me to work. I found out that I had won the Pulitzer Prize when I was sitting in a college-wide faculty meeting right here at John Jay. And I was called out of the room and told about it, and I sank to my knees. It was an extraordinary moment.
This is going to change the whole feeling of the college.
So aren't we lucky? We have this new building that's rising 13 stories above 11th Avenue, looking out over the Hudson, with new labs for our forensic science students and faculty, a moot court room for our students who want to become lawyers, a conference center for people who come to John Jay to learn the latest thinking on a particular topic, campus the size of Bryant Park where our students and faculty and friends can sit outside and create community. All of us who care about this institution recognize that it's going through a period of remarkable change. It really is a fundamental transformation of the college. So we are, in essence, reshaping this institution that we all care about and getting it ready for the next generation.
After John Jay, I hope to go into grad school for international affairs.
Now I'm preparing to go into a PhD program in statistics.
And I've started to look more into toxicogenomics programs.
Working at a university and doing anthropological research. That's my goal.
I really enjoyed some of my English classes, so rather than, going into the FBI, I might work in some other sort of capacity.
I've been leaning primarily to criminal law, more so than, corporate. To all my budding corporate attorneys, go for it.
There was once a wise man, his name was Moses Maimonides, who listed the various kinds of charity that a person can perform for another person. At the very near the very top of the list was teaching. The reason for that is you can say something during a lecture one day and forget about it 10 minutes later. But a student can come back to you 10 years later and say, I never forgot what you told me that day. That's the joy of teaching.